I may murder someone in this lifetime. not a stranger. Like, it would be purposeful murder. Hello, welcome to Middle-Aged Millennial MILF Podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Strickland, here with my dear old friend, Kurt Kubicek. A pretty big deal, like really big deal. Like, sell it. Like, here's the prime example of Kurt, I have to say. We were at Santan Mall one time, and we're just walking, and I heard somebody talking, and we weren't even that close, but I turned to Drew, I go, that sounds like Kurt. And it was totally you. Like, I was so proud of myself. Just hearing the way you talked, I was like, that's him. So sell it. Let's hear the pedigree. Let's hear this resume here. Introduce it.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm Kurt Kubicek. I am a director, producer, writer, actor. Basically, I kind of go by storyteller nowadays because I do a lot of different mediums, a lot of different kinds of projects, everything from, I do a lot of work for Toyota. I've done music videos for Warner Music and Atlantic Records. I've done feature films, feature docs, and latest podcast series with iHeartRadio about a serial killer, female Manson in South Africa. So,
okay, let's launch right into that. Hello. Awesome. So how did you find out about this person? Like, what was it like? Were you a little scared?
Well, I mean, initially, I hadn't really done as many any kind of like dark materials before. I had done a lot of most of my films were dramas. Whether they were on the more of a positive, lighter kind of stuff, drama, romance, comedy. That was kind of a lot of my background with music videos and docs as well. But like this story was really interesting to me. I was kind of, I guess you could say, at my old film school, New York Film Academy, I was kind of like, I would speak and sometimes give tours and stuff like that. A little bit here or there when they had certain people from out of the country. So I was just in the lobby one day at a different meeting. And I started speaking to this mother-daughter, and they were in from South Africa, and she had told me she was a retired detective. And I was, okay. And she told me a little bit about what she did and that, long story short, basically she was on this very famous case in the country about one of the most notorious serial killers, a female Manson, who created a small cult, which had killed 11 people. Over 4 years, which Manson's group only killed 9, to put that in perspective. So, and I was like, what? Exactly. Your face right away.
Yeah. Like, what?
I was like, what are you talking about? Go on. So she went on and told me more about it. She was one of the main detectives that was a part of the first 4 murders. And then they took a small hiatus because she was super close and there was government stuff and it was state's attorney and there was a dirty cop and all this interesting stuff she was telling me about, literally all within like 15, 20 minutes. And then she was so upset and angry with the situation that she ended up retiring, taking another job. Anyways, the woman came back when they were running out of money, a little over a year later, and then just started going on a killing spree. And they killed 7, where it was a little bit more money oriented. But they were all kind of doing her dirty deeds. And she was a master manipulator who would never actually be at the scene of the crime.
That is so interesting.
So I heard about this and I kind of flipped out. And then this woman was really cool. And she was like, oh yeah, I'm a 3rd generation detective. And I have these 2 kids and I love my kids and I'm this workaholic. And I was like, you're amazing. Like, so, so I was super fascinated by her character, actually, more than, yes, of course, at the time, especially, there was a big boom in true crime. I had always been interested in, a lot of thrillers, crimes, kind of, shows, and movies. So for me, the kind of producer director in me like lit up of basically, I instantly was like, can we remain friends? I think there's a TV show or a movie here, with this case,
Absolutely,
your life.
Yes.
And we started a friendship. And then I basically it was right around COVID. Then that happened, and then I started cultivating the project. I built a TV show that I wanted to. Basically, I kind of built the whole show Bible and the premise, and she introduced me to her mentor, who also is a very famous detective out there, especially in the 90s and early 2000s. And ultimately, I became close friends with him. So he also has a library of cases. So I also have another podcast series that my agent is shopping, and then another show as well that I'm building right now about his world. As well as currently, anyways, basically we pitched the show. I put it together. Took me probably a good 12 to 18 months of research, putting it together, lots of interviews. She was giving me everything. It was incredible, from information about the files, photos, etc. I mean, really gruesome stuff at times. So I had everything that you could ever want, in detail stories. And then she basically built it, and then I shopped it around Hollywood, got a few passes, and then I got this producer who was basically like, "Hey, I don't know if you know, but like true crime podcast series are a big deal. This is around
definitely.
22." And I was like, okay, I've never done a podcast series before, but like, I'm willing to take the meeting. And they said, yeah. So, and then they liked me, and they said that, well, no one knows the people like you, and you have acting experience. We like your voice. You should host. So, and then obviously my research was like, all right, that's got to be some extra money too. So,
absolutely. Yeah. You're like,
fun.
This is my baby. I found her. I was leading the tour.
Correct. Yeah. I found this whole thing. So I really was excited about that. They kind of trusted me with it. And then ultimately they put some producers and a small team around me. It's pretty amazing. Like, a better version of like the 1950s TV shows where I worked with a composer, and I worked with sound effects, and we took together the interviews, and it was full blown editing, and it was 35 to 40 minutes an episode for 11 episodes. So it's a full, series of this 4 years. So I'm grateful for anybody, who listens to this and watches it. And when I meet people who have heard about it or watched it, I think I'm just so grateful. I mean, as Drew knows, someone sits down and reads your whole book, that like takes a while. Some people quicker than others, I mean, Drew's got, I love reading his books because they fly pretty good, you know what I mean? And I'm interested in the material. So, but like, I mean, I think to listen to the whole series, it's like 6 hours of your time, where I'm like, that's not even like a movie, that's dedication.
A mini series.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's and it's called Queen Havoc.
Please listen. I'm going to listen. I'm fast. Did you get to meet her?
Yeah. So I ended up getting to go to South Africa.
Shit.
Yeah.
It was scary, but.
And no, I mean, obviously when you get the story right, and, as in my field, you're like, man, it would be neat to, maybe meet the killers or talk to them, or right, like Mindhunter, True Detective, like wild stuff that we've seen growing up, but like you're like, that's not possible. So it was such a distant thought, but then the way that it all came together we met a woman who wrote a book about it out in called Jana Marks out in South Africa. And then we met all these detectives, and they were obviously very excited. People from the States were coming over to talk about the story. So they kind of all these people opened up doors and helped us out. And then we were able to actually find our way through connections it was pretty insane to work with and actually get in contact with the serial killer, the Manson, and then her right-hand lady, Marinda, who, if you don't know too much about it, Marinda had 2 children at 14 and 16 when this started, and she got them involved in the cult and murdering. So you now have the 3 females, her son, and then a married couple that were all a part of this. So it was 4 females and 2 guys. I had never heard anything like this in my life. So of a small cult that was doing all these brutal murders where she was manipulating them into believing that these were like bad people and they were, and they had crossed them. It was a lot of revenge on her end that she manipulated these people. And they thought she was, chosen and special and, prolific and whatnot. But we got in contact and it was very crazy to go to Johannesburg. And then, everything from, getting there was nerve wracking. And we were recording on an Apple Watch. So like we to get our
because that's all you could probably take in, right?
That was it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They took everything else. They took the phone. So and they're not cuffed. They're nothing. You're just in an open room with these people. So,
well, to be fair, she never murdered someone herself.
Yeah.
So I would be like, I would take her alone. I'd be like, I'll be with her alone. No one else could be in here. Like she could have them murder me, but she's safe. So there were some parameters you could like put in to kind of hedge your bets.
Yep. No. Yeah. And and you could instantly, her charm and her way about her was insane. Like you got how she was able to do this instantly. Like we walked in, she created a narrative that we were distant relatives from the States visiting, and she had known us and was like, just trust me, and we go with this narrative. And then we walked in and she was like, oh my God, my cousin, and blah 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 blah. And she gave us a hug and
like,
oh yeah, and then introduced us. She knew all the guards, she knew all the other women, women in the prison. We're introducing ourselves to people. Everybody loved her. And then we sit down and she's very careful about answering very tactfully about the questions and then evading, deflecting, not really wanting, and
oh yeah.
So it was its own thing. But now when we met the woman who murdered 5, that was one of the most frightening things I've ever.
Because
and
she
I was
did
in
it
there by myself. I met Cecilia, the mastermind, with a co-producer. But when I went and met with the murderer, I was all by myself. And that was pretty wild because she was proud of what she did and she felt that she was a vigilante. And I was talking in great detail about the murders, and you'll hear me in one of the episodes when I get out. I don't even really smoke anymore. And I asked for a cigarette and I'm like really, really choked up and,
well, that's a lot.
Yeah, being in the presence of that kind of evil was, you walk in thinking like, oh, whatever, it's just another person. But like when you don't, I don't know, you're
like, no,
realize it
this isn't a normal conversation.
Yeah, it was like I stabbed him 67 times, and I brought my daughter, and yeah, it's.
I don't understand this. Like, I feel like after, I don't know, I've never stabbed someone, but like after 10. 15, I'd be like, they're dead. Like, I'm tired. I don't think I could stab someone 67 times if my life depended on it.
I'm with you. I don't think exactly. Even if your life depended on it, max 20. Like,
right. And then I'm like, I'm out. It's just, I'm done. Yeah.
Oh, you're exhausted at that point. Yeah. So this is insane stuff. So, but yeah, it was interesting because obviously iHeart and the company School of Humans that produced it and funded it, they were really obviously heavy on the serial killers. And I had to really push I fell in love with the story because of the detectives and their stories are really important and they're determining to get them. And, because people obviously love, people love murder porn and gore and all that stuff. And I get that, but I definitely don't come from that. I don't do a lot of horror films and stuff like that. This was more of just crime and, crime, thriller, mystery, and the detectives, and how inspiring it was for them to actually make sure to get her off the streets and get those people, in jail. So,
and how many shows are there about that? Like, as soon as you started talking about the detective, I was like, oh yeah, I get it. There, you know what I mean? Like, absolutely. That's the story you want to hear. Like, especially she had 2 kids. Can you imagine seeing that gore and then going home and being like, who wants macaroni and cheese? Like that takes a special kind of person.
And as you know, as a parent, there were times where the woman, the mastermind, knew that she was on the case, and then she was afraid for her children. So she sent them out of town with an uncle just to make sure, so that they weren't around and they couldn't be kidnapped or nothing could be happening to them. So, is pretty wild, like the risks she went. So, and she's, just a fascinating, powerful woman. So that was like, I got to tell this story. I got to make sure the world knows about this awesome detective. So,
well, and as a mother, like I used to see horror movies and true crime a lot different. And now every time I read it, it's my kids, or you know what I mean? Like something just fundamentally shifts in you. And I'm just like, it doesn't hit like anything with kids. I'm like, I'm out. I'm just out.
Yeah. No. And now even looking back, it's like way different, now being a dad, all that is a whole different shift of, I can't even, like, I already thought like there was no way that you could involve your kids in that kind of toxicity. So I can't even believe that these women allowed their children around and got them involved in the murders and,
well, hey, it's all in the they were doing stuff together. I mean, hey, that's better than some families. At least they had a hobby in common. Let's look devil's advocate. They had a great trusting relationship. They're like, you're not going to turn me in. I'm not going to turn you in. Like,
yeah, right. And we're all going to go to prison together. Maybe we'll see each other in the yard.
That's it, right? Letters, like all this, like that is a committed family. Because let me tell you, the minute that my mom murdered somebody, I'd be like, I'm out. Like, all you, mom. Like, I am not going down for your ass. I don't even 100%. Like you that much. No.
Yep. 100%. I'm running away. Yeah, I'm running away.
I kind of wish my mom murdered someone. Like, I feel like that would have been at least kind of interesting from her. Like, mom murder someone. There we go. She listens. Mom murder. It was okay. When I was no contact with my family, this is going to sound really awful. Kurt, you're going to judge me, but I don't care. So my brother, I had thought, like, my brother has never worked or anything. Like, I love him, but he doesn't really have life skills. And I was no contact with my parents. So I was like, so I think best case scenario is my brother murders my parents. Right. And then it's like, oh, no, like, and then we have to have a trial and I'll like testify for my brother because like, it's not his fault. Like, oh, he had a mental break and I could have trial outfits. I was very excited about my trial outfits. And then like, oh, Kyle, like they just put him like, he's not in jail. Like they just put him in a mental institution where he makes friends and he like learns life skills and like, he's doing really well. And then like, I can be like a new advocate for like, oh, did your brother kill anyone? Like my brother killed someone. Like I really had this narrative and now my dad died and it all went to shit. Like, Dad, you fucked me from this fantasy of my trial outfits. So I'm just going to have to save my brother and I'm going to get him into like elder care or something. So no murder for him anymore.
You should write that down or talk to Drew about that story. That is good. Oh my gosh.
He hates when I tell that story. He's like, can you stop? I'm like, I think it's funny. He's like, but at this point, I mean, we've known each other for 26 years. We're 15 years into marriage. Like, he just takes it all kind of with a grain of salt.
I didn't know you knew each other for that long before you got married. Wow.
We met each other when we were 15. I moved out here. It was a blind date. We didn't like each other. He liked a fat cheerleader. I dated his hot friend, and then we got together at 18, and then I married an idiot because that's how bad my parents' house was. I'm like, abusive idiot or my parents' house. Oh, no brainer. Okay, I can deal with this. And then, okay, yeah, let's launch into this. So Drew and I were having a tawdry affair. I cheated on my husband with Drew. And I guess to be fair, I was married.
Are you older than Drew?
Like 3 months.
Oh, got it. Same age. All right. Okay,
same age. Yeah. No, he looks way older with the hair. But I think that people think I'm the trophy wife because when we're in the Maldives, I was talking to our lady and I go, I wonder if people, he has this gray hair. Like, I go, I wonder if people think I'm the trophy wife. She goes, until I saw your passports, I thought the same thing. I was like, well, thanks for the honesty, Anna. Like, thank you. Hashtag winning for me. Sorry, Drew. You look like old. He's like, we're like standing in line for first class. He's like, God, people probably think I'm some like crazy producer or like some Silicon Valley guy. Like we just hypothesize what people think about us when they see us.
Yeah, he's got a really unique look right now. I mean, it makes sense when you're like, he's a mystery writer, So.
Right. But we really hope it's more highbrow. Like I hope they think we have lots of money. I'd be like, oh.
Yeah.
I came from white trash to this, right, guys? That's made it. We did. He saw my house growing up and he's like, you were white trash. I was like, I absolutely was white trash. Yes. Yep. I'm a climber. Grandma taught me well.
Nice work.
That's it.
You're a hard
out.
worker, though. I remember he was always proud of how hard you worked. I mean, you were like managing stores and
my retail. Was so sweet of him.
Yeah, he always said, no, she works and she works her tail off, and she'll even being a mom and finding, working and all that stuff on his way up, to building his business. So
I know, and now I get to not work at all.
Yeah, well, you kind of do now. You're involved in your podcasts and your author stuff, and you're probably doing promotions and
there's no money. I'm like, don't
are
leave
you
me.
Using your business savviness to like assist him?
Absolutely no. He wouldn't be where he was without me. Now, he knows that.
That's what my point is.
Yeah, I'm the sparkle. That's it. No, I was the sparkle and shine. That's he gets in there though, and then he'll do things, and I'm like, that's why we're together. I'm like, this asshole in the neighborhood pissed me off. And he's like, here's their lot number. This is how long they've been living. This is who owns their house. Let's go walk by it. I'm like, and this is why I love you. Because he acts real behind the scenes. Like, I'm Drew. I don't like the crazy drama like Sarah. He loves it. He loves it.
Uh-huh. Oh, I remember when he would talk about his horror movies. Like, yes. I mean, yeah, he definitely does. Yeah. He's still got that director's heart. Yeah.
That's it. Well,
so
we were having our tawdry affair, and you were doing, I don't even know what you were doing, but you invited him out to the Playboy Mansion?
Yes. Well, I got him a job.
Yes.
Yeah, he came out and helped doing like video and sound. That's right. Yeah. So
what was this for?
It was for, do you remember, it was some fashion magazine in Arizona way back. I mean, this is 14 years ago or something. So
this was 2008.
Oh my God, was it?
It was 2008. Yes.
Wow, that's crazy.
So it was a long, long time. I still remember.
It was just when I started as like an actor and stuff. And I just like, yeah. Okay. So, so I had gotten this situation where they were like, hey, they want to do some video through a friend, and I literally knew Drew could shoot some video and sound, and then I would kind of direct and work with Drew, and we had worked together, and I was like, hey man, you want to make a little bit of money and go do this, and we'll kind of be a 2-man team. And then I had one buddy who worked at the W hotels and was like, bro, I'll get you guys free rooms and I'll drive. You don't even have to pay me if you get me in. If you get me into the party, he's like, get me in as your guys' assistant, your PA, and I'll get free hotels and I'll drive you guys. And so that's producer Kurt who worked that out, who said, hey, Drew, you want to go have the time of your life, And he was like, oh my God, yeah, when are we ever going to go? We both were like, we're never going to be able to do this ever again.
I know. I'm so
and
glad.
He was getting so old. He was already 80, so it was like, he's gonna die. This whole thing is gonna end up stopping, and it did.
It did not. No, you were right. I'm so glad.
I knew that it was once in a lifetime, so we ended up going, and it was the best part was we get to Beverly Hills. We go to meet up with everybody. And then the main EP guy who's paying for the show or whatnot. And we got there. We show up at this millionaire painter's house, who I'm still friends with. Good guy named Dan Maltzman. We had a good time that night. And then the drummer at the time, not the original drummer, but the drummer at the time of the Gin Blossoms. That was fun. And
the Coos, right?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yes. I know this story. We tell each other everything.
You know this story.
Yeah.
Yes. So and then basically they were like, hey man, looks like Hugh decided that, we're not going to be able to do any video, and like all of our hearts dropped, and we're like, oh my gosh. And they were like, but we're still going to be able to get into the party. And we were like, what?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't have to work, and I can go twist my arm.
Yeah. And now we don't have to act like we're working the event.
Yeah.
But we're there at the event. And the best part was, I remember walking in, and we all had to like throw together some outfits, right? Because it's Halloween. And we threw together some outfits or something. And
you were hippies. It was like 60s stuff.
Yes. And I think we got there and we started drinking. And I mean, the ratio was like, I think, 7-1 women. And I remember just kind of being like, well, I'll see you guys later.
So did you make out with somebody there?
Have a good time. At least one, maybe two. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's slightly better because there was
at least a couple. Yeah. Oh, I had a moment in the grotto that is very, very wild.
You were single, correct?
Yeah.
Oh my God, both of you are pieces of shit.
No, I was on a friend's break situation where it's sticky.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Where Rachel would get mad, but really I was.
You did you end up marrying this woman?
Nope.
There you go. So it doesn't matter. Yours is a moot point.
Yeah, no,
you were good.
Mine was on the end of the road. It was she was very verbally abusive to me.
Fuck all those chicks there. You just fuck them and film it.
Oh, we were on a break, and then I had all these people being nice and being like, "Oh, hey, what's going on?" Da 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 da. And I'm like, I'm not thinking about someone who's mean to me and terrible to me. So
no, you were a 23, 24-year-old dude at the time.
Yeah, 24.
I mean, that was living the dream. Okay, and I remember I was at work, and a guy was like, "Are you worried? Like, he's going to the Playboy Mansion." I was really this naive, and I was like, "No, he loves me." But I was also married to another man. So I mean, I've forgiven him.
He was good. I remember him. I will tell you the memories that I do have, even though the one thing I wish I didn't do was drink so much. I mean, I ate my face off. They had a free buffet, and I swear I had in the teens of drinks.
How can you not? You're at the Playboy Mansion. You're 24.
And I got to meet Hugh, and he had some twins with him that, with the painted on jerseys, and Paul Oakenfold was DJing. I mean, it was insane. And the free food and the free drinks. But I remember with Drew, it was funny because I'm obviously living it up, being crazy, and Drew was like, yeah, no, like, I don't want to screw anything up. And, like, I really love this girl, and I think she's the one. And I was like, this is really bad timing for you, buddy.
Yeah. Well, don't worry. He made the most of it.
Yeah. And, he did, but it was just, it was very, I'll never forget him actually being like, no, like, I'm pretty sure this girl is really special, really important. I can't be too crazy. I'm going to have fun, but I mean, if you looked at the pictures, he was very drunk. Like, I know drunk Drew, he was drunk. Oh, we were annihilated. Yeah. Just hammered, smashed. Yeah, like it was crazy. We were up until like 4:30 or 5. Might have seen the sun come up. It was a late one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't. But you got me caught. So he was sending me a picture from the W Hotel because he was baller, and I look and there's at the time you could see I'm like there's another number here. Some bitch he was talking to in Canada. If you're listening, cunt, watch your shit. All right, I may have won, but I will fucking murder you. Anyway, whatever her name is. So I was outside of my house, with my husband. And I called my friends over and they're consoling me. And I was like, I love him so much. And he kept trying to come outside. I'm like, go in. I don't want you. So then, I mean, he was dumb, but I guess he wasn't that dumb that he was like, something's up. So he called every number on my phone, like my bill. And he found Drew and he knew who Drew was. And he called me at work. He's like, get your shit out. Yep. So
wow.
I left him for Drew. And
that was it.
That was it.
And he went through every number on your phone?
Yeah. And he knew Drew because Drew and I had dated and slept together, and he was like, that pussy, he didn't like him. Wait, were you on his phone plan? Is that how he got access? Yeah, he worked for T-Mobile. That's how he met the woman he cheated on me with, some nurse he met at T-Mobile and cheated on me first. So he cheated on me first.
He was already being a scumbag and then...
Yes, and I was like, I'll forgive you because I wanted free stuff and basically carte blanche to live in this house and do whatever I wanted. And then I got back in contact with Drew and then it was... it was all over. It was... So, yeah, you got him the Playboy Mansion. I'm glad he has that experience. I genuinely am.
Oh, my God. Yeah, we wouldn't... I don't think... You know what I mean? You watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yes. I watch it with people and I'm like, That's it. That's where we were at. That's where we were part. We got to live all that. It was insane.
I was still like, it was definitely hazy timing. And
Yeah.
I mean, now I'm like, good. I'm glad you got that out of your system. Like all that stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
he wouldn't even think of it now. He wouldn't. She could
No.
be naked, pop a titty in his mouth, and he'd be like, I'm out. Like,
Oh yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah. Drew would run. Yeah.
that's it. No. So.
Yeah. You'd be like, I gotta go. Leave me alone.
She'll kill you. She
Yeah.
will actually kill you. She's already. I told him. I'm like, I've come to terms with I may murder someone in this lifetime. I will go. Not a stranger. Like it would be purposeful murder. But I would go to jail and I would be like, oh, ladies, it's okay. Let's learn transcendental meditation. I'm going to help you get your high school diploma. Like, let's take mothering classes. Like, I would just, and then I don't think I'd get raped. Like, I think if I had that kind of allure.
Yeah, right. Well, I think you have a lot of aggressive energy. I think you might be able to freak them out with your words.
I think that's it. I have the alpha energy.
You play the crazy on them, like play that role.
I'm like, I lost it once, ladies.
Yeah.
I'm already in here for life. They can't take it twice.
Yeah, exactly. That's funny. Wow. Yeah. So yeah, that is interesting. So then you guys basically started dating, and how long were you dating before you had your first child?
Oh God, yeah, I lived with him for like 3 months and got knocked up. I was like, whoops. Sorry, Walker. Wasn't planned, dude. I don't think you were planned. Like, love you. You were the best surprise in my life. You're not an accident. You were a wonderful surprise. But I remember my period was late and I was at work and I was like, go get me a pregnancy test. So I sent my like assistant manager to buy me a pregnancy test. And I took it at work and I was like, fuck, I'm pregnant. Like, just left my husband with Drew for like 3 months. So like there's no hazy timeline. Like I knew it was Drew's. And so I went home and Drew was wearing this monogrammed robe. And I'm like literally just wearing a monogrammed robe like you would just any Tuesday. And I'm like, I have to tell you something. And I told him I was pregnant and he's just really quiet. And I go, are you going to say anything? And he goes, I'm just really regretting wearing this robe right now. I feel like he did swear on my kid's life. He goes, I'm just really regretting wearing this robe right now. I feel like I should be wearing pants for this information.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, well, you're wearing a robe, dude. We're having a baby.
Oh my gosh.
And he freaked out that whole 9 months. Like anybody he talked to that had a kid, he's like, what's it like to have a kid? Like he was just freaked out.
Wow. Yeah, I bet. Oh my gosh. That's wild. And then geez, and what were you guys doing at the time? Was he doing sound or helping with the dry cleaning business?
Yes, sound right? And dry cleaning. I was an assistant manager, I was a store manager for Vans.
That's right.
Living in the condo that his parents owned. Like,
that's right.
His parents didn't like me. His mom, get this, his mom. So when we decided to be together, she felt the need to sit me down because she was super Christian and I was a whore. And she was like, she made me give details about my marriage. And I was like, yeah, no, it was bad. Like, you got abused. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and she's like, well, what makes you think that it'll work with my son? I'm like, well, I love him. And then she swear to God, she goes, I don't know if you're good enough to be around my grandchildren. I don't know if you're going to stick around. So we're going to have to figure this out. So that was like the first time she sat me down. For the record, Valine Strickland, I am still here. That those children, I wasn't good enough. Their father actually left their mother for another woman and abandoned them, but I'm still here. So
wow.
Hashtag winning, Valine. I will never forgive you for that.
Your ex did that, huh?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it's not like, like he was just very immature and we would like get into fights. Like it was crazy. Like we were just young and just like, he was dumb. And the only way it was just, no. Like, I'm not like, oh, poor battered woman. Like, I gave it as good as I got. But I also try not to say this because, like, Kurt, he's a motherfucker. Like, I worry he would somehow sue me over something. Like, he is crazy. He married someone else named Sarah.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's
right?
That's pretty, it's screwed up.
And, like, didn't tell her for a very long time. He had an ex-wife named Sarah. Now, apparently, she's like very triggered because I don't have an H. So if he ever leaves the H off, it's a big deal. And you can tell that he's just not all in on that. Like, we were talking about our dog that died, and he was like, I'm like, well, it all worked out. I'm with my soulmate. You're with yours. And he goes, I probably worked out. What world of like, you're lucky that you got to be married to me for 3 years, dude. Like, what probably? Like, I've seen what your kids look like. I don't want to procreate with you. Like, we didn't have kids for a reason. I knew Walker was not yours. That's why I had him. Had he not been yours, it would have been a Bobo City, dude. Like, no.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Oh man.
You're like, I never knew the side of Drew's wife before.
I mean, I knew you had quite the spirit. I knew that. Drew was like, you don't even know. She is a firecracker. She's got tons of personality and all this, and Drew's always so, pretty, he's very, very polished and professional with me and, and kind and everything like that. But he definitely wears it close to the chest, unless I ask questions, which I am inquisitive, naturally. So I'll ask about things. But it's funny because when I had my daughter, he was like, I didn't even know she was pregnant. And I was like,
I don't know how you kept that. Like, how do you do that? Like, I can't keep a secret about myself to save my life, clearly. Like, I'll be like, I'm not going to say that on a podcast. I'm like, I had an abortion. Oh, shit, I did it. Oh, no. Like, I can't. Oops. So, yes, I was very shocked too and exciting. So let's talk about your daughter. Parenthood is exciting.
Yeah, it is.
It's something.
It's something. It is. There is. She's amazing because obviously, in my field, I'm obsessed with human behavior, and it's pretty neat to watch her learn and grow every week or two. I mean, just the development is absolutely insanity, and everything from with a pregnant wife and then even the pregnancy itself. And it was very scary. My wife lost a lot of blood. I was really worried. I was in the corner, like freaking out and praying. And they were like, oh, can we get a nurse with a husband who's a little in the corner? I'm like, I can't do this by myself. I can't do this by myself, because the baby was fine, and she was really out of it for a good 30 to 45 minutes. So I was really worried there. And then, but yeah,
I was samesies, so I feel her. I hemorrhaged the second time and almost died from blood pressure the first time. So also Drew and you are in very good company. He could counsel you on the wife almost dying.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, that's scary. Yeah.
We're experts,
you've been through it then. Yeah. You've been through it. You came through it though. Was that for the first or?
With Walker, they couldn't get my blood pressure under control. So they literally had to knock me out for my labor. And then with Beckett, I hemorrhaged because I had eclampsia. I had pre-eclampsia with Walker, eclampsia with Beckett. And we were done. Like, it was so terrifying. After they pulled Beckett out, he wasn't breathing. And they were going to tie my tubes. And the lady goes, oh, don't tie your tubes. So I'm like, I'm strapped to a bed. He's dead. Why else would you say don't tie your tubes? And even if he is dead, I'm not going through this again. Like, I also know Drew, we were trying for Beckett. I got 2 months. And he's like, if it went another month, I was going to say I couldn't handle it. So we're lucky he got in. Like, we were not.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, So all that whole experience, like I always wanted to experience it and it's a wonderful thing, but it's a whole new ball game, like, with mental toughness, finding time, figuring out your schedule, especially in our business, with with me and Drew and, now like being an entrepreneur and having to figure that out. Wow. I mean, my wife's doing a master's. She's done in August. So she's in the middle of doing a master's. She decided to push through with the help of her parents, helping out. And
good for her. Moms are super women, though. Like, if anybody could do it.
And she got straight A's and she pushed through the pregnancy and then had the baby. And now, so with the help of my mother-in-law, that's been amazing. But I mean, I'm still on, kind of sort of a couple days a week dad duty. I mean, I'm not, it's not like, I've got friends who have more of a regular system, which is like, they have more 9 to 5s and they bring the kid to daycare and, and I'm like, oh, cool. You don't hang out with your kid for 10 hours a day. Not really my world. Like
Yeah,
you hang out with it for an hour or two, you put it to bed, and then you see it on the weekends. Like that's a
that's
lot,
it.
I think, of parenting for people that have that life. But
And you're
when
totally
you're,
right.
and that's a totally different system than what I've been going through, which has been really, really difficult for, you know, my everything, whatever, a little bit of my sanity, my career, and beautiful at the same time. I had a friend who's a big rock star musician, and it was just like, enjoy it, soak it up, be present, because it goes fast. And then eventually, your wife will be done with the masters and you're going to be doing something else. And then, you'll probably be on that more regular system. So just jump into it and enjoy being able to spend all day with her, and help out your family and, do all that. So that has been interesting.
With a baby, it's the days are long, the years are short.
Yep.
And that's where you're at. And that's but it is really nice. And that's where Drew and I, since I worked retail, I had 2 days off that were just random. It wasn't just the weekends. And I closed 2 nights a week. So those nights, Drew would get off work early and be with Walker. So he was in daycare some, and that was really good for his development. But we also had that time where he got really close to Drew. Like, I, for the longest time, didn't think he liked me. I was like, he likes you more. And now that he's a teenager, he's actually come around on mom. I'm like, ooh, I like this. Okay.
That's awesome. Good.
Well, he's in theater. He's a little Broadway kid, and like,
awesome.
And he also loves like drama and gossip and stuff. So like we get in the car and he's like, what's the teacher gossip? I'm like, what's the student gossip? And we share it. And they're like, shh, don't tell anyone. We tell each other this. Like, and that's what's cool, because seeing them as a baby, like, develop, and it's so neat. And you're like, oh my gosh, all that. But then once like he's 15, he has this whole world. And just anytime I get a peek into his world, I'm like, you have all these friends. Like, he's in theater. And then he had like these jock friends come see him, and he's in this club, and he's like, oh yeah, I know how to play chess, mom. And I absolutely, that's my favorite part of being a mom, is just seeing who he is.
Yeah. And what like interests they have, and what they find on their own, and what they develop on their own, and right, all that.
And it's just so neat, because I feel like my parents, at least I don't know how your parents were, told me who to be. I was just like my dad. I was just like my mom, this and that, where I'm like, I want you to be unique. I want you to be you.
Yep. Yeah.
Anything I want to accomplish in my life is mine. Your life is yours.
That's tough. Yeah. And I think a lot of people had a similar upbringing to you, where they're pushing on what they want you to be, or, everything from values to the person to maybe passions and skills, different things like that they're doing that. Because the older I get, I realize it's a bit more rare, which is it was great at the time. It was magical, but now it's very, almost a little strange because of my own marriage and other people's marriage and all the different stuff. But my parents, they were like kind of Brady Bunch-ish, where my dad had 1, my mom had 3. Her oldest was severely handicapped, so he has a 1-year-old's brain, and he's a grown man. So she would have to take care of him, half the week, and then he would stay at a home. And now he's at a home, and she sees him on the weekends nearby. It's like 10 minutes from her house, but she's had to be kind of a part-time parent her whole life. So I was the healthy boy, and all that, being grateful and whatnot. So I was the 5th between the 2 of them. So yeah, I mean, I was someone who was a very happy kid, and I wanted to do well, and I was very independent. I liked, I was into sports as early as like 7 or 8 and other activities, and I got good grades, and I like getting good grades, and I like to make people happy, and my parents, literally from when I was probably as early as I can remember, 8 to 10 years old, if I wasn't doing sports, I would be very self-sufficient about my schooling, because I wanted to do well. I wanted to be the best sports person. I wanted to be a good son. I wanted, so by 10, it was like, okay, well, do your stuff, and then make sure you get it done, and then you can go out and play and be home at a certain time. And then that went on to just trust and communication. And so they gave me a PhD in love and trust. and kind of let me go after, be whatever I really wanted to do.
Well, that's amazing, though. That is so rare. That is
I know,
genuinely
but I don't.
rare.
Yeah, I in real life with lots of people, and like they, like I just went out with my dad. I took him to a Cubs game, and I joked with him, and I was like, Dad, I was like, it was just really hard for me. I was like, Dad, did you guys? I don't remember you guys ever really like fighting in front of me, like, or being rude or cruel, or I was like very small moments or anything, like. And he was like, never. Like, we wouldn't do that in front of you. And if it did, it was like our room, but it was hardly ever. We just didn't disrespect
Yeah.
each other and mistreat each other, especially in front of you. And I was like, well, fuck.
Damn it, I wanted some trauma, Dad. Okay. Right? You're like, everyone else has this trauma. Can I have a little? Quit being so perfect.
but now, man, we're real life people. We've got our stresses, and unfortunately, I have an extremely high bar for what I want for my daughter. But
that's not bad.
No. Yeah. But it's also very difficult, I think, for people to.
Yeah.
You're a spicy little one who has a lot of personality and things to say. I mean, you could imagine. So it's and it's not all blueberries and rainbows life, and so it's I think that's the neatest thing is like I was very blessed with that, and that's why I'm excited to be a dad, is because I did have really loving parents, that kind of let me be what you're talking about, where you got to just go, what are you into? Okay, support. What do you want to be? Just support. Trust, support. There was never any pressure because I put so much pressure on myself.
Well, and they probably hated that. That's where they're like, we're not going to add to this. Like, he needs to dial it down, this anxiety. Like, my goodness.
Yeah, this guy. But it's funny to think about it. It's the same thing that made me the successful guy I am at
That's
what
it.
I do.
Because you go all in.
Perseverant. Yeah. I mean, Drew knows. I mean, it takes years and years and years of believing in yourself and getting good. Get it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then investing in yourself, time, money, all the different things, and knowing that one day, it'll
pay off.
Yep, correct. And
but also think about the world that you're going to get to show your daughter that most kids won't get to see. You know what I mean? Being an entrepreneur, living the lifestyle that you, like us, even just seeing the difference from when I worked retail to now, that we're like, oh, we have friends from Mississippi, and they're like, oh, we're sorry your dad died. We have a house in Colorado. You want to come? And we're like, we can come, like there's no, like, we can just do this. And this is like this amazing life. And I'd never even left the US until I went to the Maldives. So our kids are going to Turkey and Greece this summer. Like, it's just so cool.
That's awesome. You guys are going to take a trip out there, huh?
We said, fuck it. Let's go and show them the world. And Beckett the other day, he goes, I'd like to move to Italy. And we're like, we could move to Italy.
Yep.
It's just these options that are amazing. So it's really, and also you front loaded. We front loaded having kids, and now we're like able to focus on our careers because they're older and don't need as much attention. But you were able to do your career and be more established and mature for your daughter, whereas our kids had to go through a lot of our growing pains.
Yep.
And our trauma that we hadn't resolved, and we were still growing up with them. Like, we were much different parents to Walker than we were to Beckett because they were 7 years apart. Like, and it's all just different strokes, different folks type thing.
Totally.
There's no right or wrong way.
Absolutely. Yeah, correct. And that is, and there's pluses to each, like you all are going to ultimately,
be done sooner.
I'm a parent, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Into, my late 50s, and it's like, until they go to college, and it's like, then ultimately with you get to kind of enjoy them being young adults. And still being like young and having energy and
being younger grandparents. I'm so looking forward to that.
Yeah. So, and that's really, really great. But like you said, I was a bit of a crazy man, until I met my wife,
But that's how it should
and was
be.
a crazy workaholic. I mean, at one point I was, I remember I was editing my first film, and I was making pretty decent money, but just for fun, I was bartending 3 nights a week, and then I was auditioning for commercials, and then, and I was, I mean, my buddy's dad was a doctor, so like, I would take Adderall when I needed it, and I would,
Oh,
and
we
I
all
would
had those days.
yeah, but there was nothing stopping. It was party, work, work, party, work, party. I mean, it was full throttle, and it was traveling of insanity where I wouldn't even think twice about like, 3-4 day trips or doing this, or like, it was like, I'm out, see ya, cool, whatever. And that was, and that's the stuff, hopefully I will, that's where a lot of, the stuff comes from in my life, and will hopefully show in more of my films or, and projects down the road. And, my human empathy of, meeting thousands and thousands and thousands of people. Cause at the end of the day, my curiosity is what fuels me, for better or for worse, is wondering how and why people, do what they do, and live like they live. And that's something that is another, as I get older, a better or worse thing, because I think a lot of people are very content with, I'm the star of the show. Right. I run, everything revolves around what I want, what I want to do. And I'm, some people sit on a bench and they, look at birds and look at nature. And I'm somebody who is like, okay, at the airport bar, talking to somebody for 2 hours, or, you know what I mean? Or wanting to, like, when I travel, like my wife always jokes, like we'll do the seeing stuff and maybe see some things. But then I'm like, oh, let's go to a nearby restaurant or pub, like where we can meet some locals. And I want to actually like talk to people who live here, and I want to meet people, and maybe we'll make new friends, for a few days, and it'll be awesome. And then we'll really get to know like the richness of the culture. But that's a weird thing that, maybe it's the actor writer in me, but always been fascinated with how others live.
I'm right there with you. Like, especially when you said storyteller, I always say that we're a family of storytellers, because Drew writes the books. I do this. Walker does, his Broadway
you're
stuff.
Like, so I think you're PR probably when you guys are out.
What's so funny is I remember when I was 16, I didn't have parents that ever complimented me on anything. And I was on the newspaper, and the teacher, Miss Roundtree, she goes, Sarah, you should go into PR. You're really good with people. Like, even at 16, she noticed that was kind of my gift. And I think that's why I was good at retail. You did bartending. Like, you're just good with people. I could talk to them. I'm the same way. I'm curious, but I also genuinely care about people until they're a dick to me. Then like, fuck you, scorched earth. But
100%.
Other than that,
see ya.
I'm like, I will give you the shirt off my back. Like, I wouldn't try to sell them stuff. I would just be like, yeah, cool. This looks good on you. No, let's just hang out. Like, all that stuff. So I think there's something to that people are kind of drawn to us. And I'm sure your wife's probably actually quite similar to Drew, because we kind of need that person to balance us out and to listen to our bullshit all the time.
Correct. No, you're absolutely dead on. Yeah, exactly. So it's definitely, so that's what's fun, I guess, is like, and I will say that it's very true where when you become a parent, there is a part of your heart and your soul that like opens up into a totally new thing that's even hard to describe in words. It's not a romantic love, right? It's a different kind of thing when you are around them, when you see them, right? It's hard to even articulate still for me.
But if you're a parent, like, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's almost like, and this will sound cheesy, but sometimes I will just smile at my kids, like just the pure joy of just how proud I am of them and who they are and how much I love them, and just that, and that you never think, because I was like, when I had them, I'll be honest, I was like, what if I get sick of them? As in your life, you've gotten sick of people, and I was like, this is your kid, but it's completely different. I mean, you'll get annoyed with them. There are days when I'm like, go to your fucking room, I'm done.
Oh no, but I'm ready for that. Yeah, that's real. Yeah, that's going to happen. Yeah, without a doubt. When they get their own life and personality and their mouthpiece, and all that is real. But that unconditional kind of thing where you're like, I'm going to do anything and everything as long as you're basically not a psychopathic murderer. Yeah, to be there for you, to help you, in every single way possible, and assist you in life, which is like, we don't see others that way, right? I mean, I literally see everything as, even though I love my wife unconditionally, if she were to stab me 10 times, I'd probably go, okay, it's time to go,
Yeah, but your daughter, you'd be like, don't do it another time. 11 daddy dies. 10 daddy can live. 11 daddy dies. So can we yeah.
But crazy enough, your daughter, if she did something crazy, you probably go visit her in prison and be like, are you okay? Are you getting mental health? Like,
yes, I love you. I still love you. I don't like you in this moment, but I love you always. It's
right?
Crazy to explain.
That's an extreme hyperbolic.
But it happens. Also, it happens.
Yeah, right. But that is how I would say in my head, where, you would walk in a heartbeat on certain things if people did stuff. And then there are things where you would just be like, okay, it was a really terrible situation. We need to get you help. And I love you. And, but I'm not going to just like stop,
no, just walk away from your kid. It's a piece of you out in the world. And it's almost like it's a piece of your heart. And you're like, I have to protect this. I don't want that to get broken. Like,
yeah,
it's the scariest thing you can do if you think about it.
Yeah, no. So then tell me, while we're talking about it, I mean, what was the journey, I guess, for you? Because I remember Drew telling me, and I don't know if you were still working, but like at the beginning of his first few books, he said that he was like with the babies, maybe while you were working, or with the kids.
Yeah, with Beckett,
he would have to get up at like 5, 6 a.m. to get his writing done for whatever, 2-3 hours. I mean, how did that schedule? How was he able to find the time to write? And then you guys working with the schedules with the kids for the first few books.
I mean, honestly,
that what you remember.
I was on prescription pills. I had a raging prescription pill problem at the time. So I genuinely think those times, like, he would just get up at 3 a.m. because I think it was his escape. You know what I mean? From the unhappy life that I was unhappy. He was unhappy. We loved each other. But so I really think that was his escape. And it's so
10
funny.
10 years ago, probably?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
I got clean in 2022. He started in 2018. I think he wrote his first book. So it was.
That's what I thought. So 7 years ago. Yeah, 7 years ago.
And so he wrote it, and then he was able to go full time by 2022 because the cleaners closed down.
I remember talking to him. Yeah, because it was right after I got the podcast deal, and we were both really excited about,
starting this new journey. Yeah. And then I ended up going through withdrawal and like getting clean like then. So it was really hard for him to get a book out. And then when things got better and then I quit my job, he's like, I'm having trouble working because we're just having so much fun. We're going out to lunch and we're this and that. And before, he's like, how was I able to get 5,000 words days? I was like, honey, you were miserable and that was your escape. That was your out. You know what I mean? I don't think that you knew where it was going to end up, but it was just, that was a better alternative.
So, because then he would get up as early as what you're saying, 3, 4. 3. And then he'd have to be a dad, right?
Yep.
At 7 or something.
Or he would go into work at the cleaners and then come home, or on the weekends he would write.
And it was just like windows, basically?
Yeah,
like
it was absolutely just windows
at night or early in the morning kind of thing, it sounds like? Because he'd have to do stuff during the day, right?
Oh, he still worked, took care of the kids, all that stuff.
Wow. Well, and you were working?
I was retail. Yeah, I always worked. Yeah.
Retail managing. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Wow.
And now that just seems like that wasn't even our life. It seems so long ago, like any of that. Like I really lost who I was for, like, I wasn't this person, then I was like a zombie. And so I think that now everything, like, that's also really helped support him, is me being supportive. And he was so focused on having to heal my shit that he couldn't focus on his. So once I got better, then he could be like, okay, this is what I need to work on to better myself. And that's been a really nice journey for both of us to kind of go on and heal our trauma, and for the kids too. And show the kids too. And I took Walker to therapy and said, I'm sorry. I was dealing with my trauma in a really unhealthy way with these pills, and I let you down. Nothing ever happened, but I'm sorry. And I am accountable for that. And I love you. And I feel like we kind of minimized some of the trauma for them with that, because also they've had 3 years of this mom that they remember, who I always really was. And that I feel like I've been able to erase. And it's just kind of like, well, those are the bad times, but those are over.
Yeah. No, I mean, literally the only thing you have is your present. That's what's so cool about it.
Well,
Is
that's
like
it.
that and that Drew stuck it out and as a
And
dad and
did
as a husband with you and
oh,
that's
I
through it
am.
all.
I've told him before, like I would be heartbroken if he had cheated on me, but I wouldn't have blamed him. Like it was
Wow,
not.
you
I
were
wasn't
just
me.
so self and kind
I,
of involved.
I was just so. I mean, they had me on antipsychotics for sleep. I mean, can you even imagine being on bipolar
No,
medication when you don't need it? Like
no, no.
I I couldn't, and
Yeah,
that's also why I was like, well, I wasn't an addict. I wasn't addicted to antipsychotics. I had a dependency. As soon as I got off, I was like, I wasn't like, can I get some more? Like
yeah,
it
yeah.
wasn't good. So that's where it's nice too, where it was sleeping pills and I fixed my sleep and that. So where it's pain
Wow.
pills, people have such a huge relapse and stuff.
Yep. Yep. Wow. That's wild. What a journey then that you guys are now, you know what I mean? It's like you really went through a dark, few years and then you kind of came out and it's lighter than ever.
Oh, well, I mean, Beckett had 2 open heart surgeries. I had
That's
that.
right.
Like we've said before, like we've lived at a level 9 stress. Like I'm sure there's worse, but we were like a level 9 and we've lived at it for years. So we can get through anything. There are couples that have never been challenged. And
Yeah.
even a level 4 comes along and they can't handle it. And that's when they split up.
I think that's most people too. Unfortunately, in today's world where you're just the app away, you're just, everything is so self-involved in, your phone, your whatever, your streaming services, your apps, your social media, the options of it's so easy to quit. It's so easy to quit, I think, for a lot of people. It's pretty amazing. So when people stick it out, because there's some really amazing stuff that can come out of it. If you guys see each other through things, like it's pretty cool.
Well, and we're more in love than ever. And we don't worry. He could, like I said, he could go to the Playboy Mansion now and I would be fine. Like I wouldn't worry. Nothing's going to happen. Like same
Oh
as,
no, totally. Yeah.
because
No, Drew would be funny actually at a
oh, that's
party
it. He'd
like
be
that.
like, she's gonna like he would, and it's hard for me too because I'm just a very like fun. You're probably the same way. Like I'm just fun, flirty. Like it's innocent. It's
Yep.
not like.
Uh-huh.
And I think people always look at Drew like, is this okay? And he's like, she's not going anywhere. Like this is not, like I don't even I don't make
Dave,
money
like,
now. I'm really not going anywhere.
yeah.
I'm on daddy's dole over here. Like I'm not going anywhere.
That's awesome. And so then what is next? I guess you're doing this stuff. And then he said you're doing something for the authors, something panel or.
So Author Nation last year we went to, it used to be 20 books. And then Joe and Sue Solari, hi, Joe and Sue, love you, took over. And they've turned it into Author Nation. And that like basically gave me my career. They had Kevin Smith on there. I went on stage with him. Like I launched this whole thing. Like I owe everything to them. So they reached out to Drew to have him help. And I reached out to Sue's. And so me, her, and Amanda Traylor, who's an amazing author, are going to be the Real Housewives of Author Nation. So we're like the concierge service. So I have 5 sponsors. So whatever they need, I'm their touch person.
Okay, got it.
And it's funny because I feel like somehow I stumbled into something really in my wheelhouse because with retail management, it was managing people. And with keeping customers happy. And like, this is just really something I'm good at. So if I could turn this into making money, I would love it. Like, I don't know, but because I'm like you, I just love people and helping. And I'm kind and polite and play the corporate game. Like I'm grateful.
Your retail experience is going to come in a huge handy, over this kind of transition into kind of sort of, I don't know, PR kind of type position. I mean, and you're going to be able to also, I think, like just enhance everything Drew's doing as well. I know you have, but I mean, even the continued success, sustaining, different things like that. You'll probably have some really great ideas to keep those things going as the technology continues to get weird. So,
no shit. It's all going to take over, Kurt. Someday we'll be obsolete.
It's pretty wild. Yeah. So
there are some days though, I won't lie, and this may sound not optimistic, that I'm like, okay, just let's burn it all to the ground. We need another mass extinction. I think I'll take the hit. Okay.
That's why we really got to enjoy it because I think it's going to get a little strange. The next,
a little close, right? And then also you have kids, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. That's what I said to Walker the other day. I go, I'm so sorry. When we had you and your brother, Obama was president. I didn't know this was coming. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Like, not making political, you know what I mean? But like, it's just a different world our kids are growing up in right now. And it's like, it wasn't what we grew up in. I'm sorry. I feel like we didn't really have a hand in it. And we're just dealing.
Yep. No, seriously. I mean, literally only 8 to 10 years ago, it was way different. Way different. Less than a decade ago. Like, it was just so different on how we communicated. Just the very beginning of social media, we didn't know. I mean, it was just a fun internet. It was just a way to communicate with people and post and keep people involved in your life. And then now you have social media and influencers literally destroying magazines, destroying advertising companies, destroying marketing companies. Like what? Just because of somebody on their phone.
Yeah.
Like there's no
free press. There's no, it's all bought and sold. It's just terrifying.
Yeah. It's going to get weird. Yeah. Luckily, your kids are at least about to become adults here in the next 5 to 10.
That's it. Yeah. So I'm like, but that's also scary. Like, World War III. Like, I will move his ass. Like, I will be a draft dodger like nobody's business. I am not.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah,
I'd be like, can I go in for him like the Hunger Games? I'll go fight this war. Like, leave my kid out of it. Like, I'll go to boot camp if this is what it takes.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, wow. Well, I mean, this is so eye-opening to be able to talk about, all this fun stuff with you. That's for sure. So
I know we've never really talked this much. You're probably like, whoa, where you been hiding her?
I know. Like, what the heck, Drew? Jeez. Oh, man. And I don't know if you heard there's a possibility we might be moving out there.
Yes, so. I did hear that. So I'm so excited. And also offering up babysitting services for you guys because you need to still keep your marriage alive and have date nights and stuff. I'll come to your house.
Oh, my God. You're sweet. Thank you so much. That's really cool.
Well, that is, I will say before, I'll let you go soon, but make your relationship a priority. Take the date nights. You know what I mean? Like that is still so important because also you want to, like you had a great love model. You want your daughter to see that too. And for her to learn that she can make her relationship a priority. These people that just give up their lives when they have kids, those are the ones that get divorced when the kids are 18 and they have nothing in common anymore.
Yep. No, and we're lucky that my mother-in-law's around and we occasionally get to go out and have a night and, and have a date and be able to go out. So it's been all right, so far. But I feel like, she's about to step into the nursing world. So she'll be working, the 3 days a week. And then, we will have, and then with my work, so we should at least be able to get a date night each week. So
there we go. So that's what's important. Make that a relationship a very big priority. You got 2 important girls in your life.
Yeah. You got it. No, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Well, Kurt, thank you so much. I don't want to take your time. You have a beautiful daughter and super busy to get to it. I have a funeral to plan. Woo!
Yeah. Well, this is cool. We should do this again in a year or something and see how things are going. This is fun.
Absolutely. Yes. I want to hear it. Thank you so much, Kurt. The best. Wish you and your family the best. And remember, I'll babysit.
Yeah. And let me know if you ever get around to, checking out some of the podcasts. I don't know.
Oh, I absolutely will. I'm going to listen to it. Absolutely. Yeah. That'll be my Turkey on my way to Turkey. I'm going to listen to this.
It's great for multitasking in the car and
that's
cleaning,
it. So I'm down. Queen Havoc.
Yeah.
Podcast by Kurt Kubicek. I can see this being a Netflix show down the line. Just saying, I already picture it, so I know you're going to get it.
We're going to be pitching it. Yeah, we're going to be pitching it. So I've got the materials that's what I've been working on. So
I believe we're going to manifest this. It's going to happen. Thank you, Kurt. Yes, you have a good day.